One Zambia, one nation. Welcome to the news. To present, my name is Henry Himonde. Our top stories in the news. Government processes over 300,000 title deeds. 20 million kwacha released to improve water reticulation system in Mumbwa district. Zambia's gemstones praised. And young people aged to acquire vocational skills. The news in detail. Government says over 300,000 title deeds have so far been processed using the newly installed Zambia Integrated Land Administration System, ZILAS. Minister of Lands and Natural Resources Elijah Mchima says the system recorded over 1 million cases where 300,000 title deeds were processed. He said 200,000 records had issues to do with invitation to treat, adding that the other 500,000 records required verification such as missing national registration card and contact numbers. The minister was speaking in Lusaka during a press briefing at his office. Mr. Mchima observed that the old system was porous, such that issues to do with corruption were the order of the day. He expressed optimism that with the engagement of the Smart Zambia, the system will be controlled and operate free from corruption. The minister also dispelled social media reports that the new system had crashed.
When we are changing, we had over 1 million records of files on the 12th, which by the 12th Friday, May. On the 14th, .gov, the system developers arrived in the country. So from 15th to 16th, cash office here and throughout the country were closed to customers. We closed it deliberately to allow users to log in and out to test the new system. 2 days, 15th and 16th. I don't know how that interpreted into 3 weeks. 17th Wednesday, ZILAS opened to the public, to members of the public. Out of those, we had 300,000 title deeds. 300,000 out of that 1 million plus title deeds being processed in the new system. 200,000 of them were either ITT. ITT means invitation to treat. Others were on offer, leaving us with 500,000 requiring verification. Either there is no NRC or there is no email address. And this requires the owners to come. And as a ministry, we have been trying to find means and ways, better ways, in which we can bring these people so that we can clean up the 500.
Service, Defense and Security Chiefs today presented gifts to President Hakainde Hichilema as he celebrated his 61st birthday at Community House in Lusaka. And in receiving the presents, President Hichilema called for unity in the country and support to the government during the debt restructuring process. Mr. Hichilema encouraged citizens to support the government in the debt restructuring process, as it is the key agenda for economic development. The president was surprised by the birthday gesture and assured that once the debt restructuring process is closed, the country will have many open opportunities for social and economic development. Now, plans are underway to demarcate the water boundaries between Zambia and Mozambique. A delegation of surveyors from both countries are sitting in Luangwa district to discuss the demarcation of water boundaries shared by the two countries. More in the following report.
Preparatory meetings to kickstart the demarcation of Luangwa River boundaries between Zambia and Mozambique have started. Assistant Surveyor General Kelvin Chibangula said the preparatory meetings will help both teams of surveyors from the two countries to compare notes and refresh their minds on the tools and softwares to be used in the exercise.
We now apply ourselves to equally do a good job on the stretch that has remained. What we could do is to have this preparatory meeting or a preliminary meeting and request before we venture out to the field, so that we are able to compare the documents that we have. We are able to agree on the approach and the methodology that we are going to take to execute this work, so that when we go out there now in the field to carry out the work, we are all moving together.
The Mozambican geographer Rosalda Tavete, who is also delegation leader, hopes that the exercise will be successful.
Together, we'll do good job. It's not our first time. It's first time for another people, but almost half 14, we working together a long time.
Luangwa District Commissioner Luke Chikan says Luangwa River boundary demarcation will help the country and the district have dignified water boundaries with the neighboring countries.
The mapping will help us after you put the border there, how we are going to relate with our friends bilaterally between ourselves and Mozambique.
Lista Ndumba, Luangwa District.
In Southern Province, Provincial Deputy Permanent Secretary Yolanta Malunga says the dedication of the Holy Trinity Cathedral in Monze District is a clear demonstration of the good working relationship between government and the Catholic Church. Ms. Malunga says the love, unity, justice, peace and human development which the Church preaches is in line with government's aspirations. Gift Wanji has the details.
The role of the Church in promoting reconciliation and harmony remains key to national unity and development. Celebrating the dedication of Holy Trinity Cathedral, the Catholic Church in Monze Diocese has committed itself to promoting love, unity, tolerance, and mutual respect.
And today, we will set aside this place as a house of God for worship and a place of refuge for those who are in need spiritually. Emanating from our participation in the Eucharist, let us as a community be an oasis of love, brotherhood and sisterhood, mutual understanding and respect, where diversity does not become a hindrance to relationships, but instead becomes a source of riches.
For the government, peace and harmony are a prerequisite of any development.
Dedication of the Holy Trinity Cathedral is a sign that governments and the Church serve the same people. The love, unity, justice, peace, and human development which the Church preaches is in tandem with the UPNG government's aspirations.
Traditional leaders have pledged to work with the Church and government to promote peace, unity, and development in the country.
The Church is there to make sure that people are nurtured to follow the good values of Christianity. As traditional leaders, we are saying we are here so that our people can follow the very good norms of our culture. By that, our political leaders will find it very easy to run the affairs of the country. We urge the political leaders to work with the Church. Let the political leaders work with the traditional leaders so that we save the people of Zambia diligently and prudently.
Gift Banji, Zanis, in Monze, Southern Province.
In Central Province, government has released over 20 million kwacha to improve the water reticulation system in Mumbwa district. Lukanga Water and Sanitation Company Managing Director Yoram Sinyangwe says the fund will go towards dredging, upgrading the dam wall, construction of a reservoir tank and sinking additional boreholes. He was speaking when Central Province Permanent Secretary Milna Mwanakampwe and his Ministry of Water Development counterpart, Joe Kalusa, inspected the water facilities. Kruger Siankulu now gives us the details.
While the government has invested heavily in the water sector in Mumbwa district, human activities are a threat to the water sources. This has not sat well with Central Province Permanent Secretary Milna Mwanakampwe.
So if we cannot do anything that will be positive and will preserve the water levels that are domiciled in this area, we start fighting, then we compromise the entire Mumbwa. That Chibira dam there, PS was just showing us that by October, people begin to do small dams here, mini dams, by putting sacks.
Meanwhile, Water Development Permanent Secretary Joe Kalusa has called on police officers to provide security to the water technicians to facilitate the laying of pipes in encroached areas.
So help us safeguard. I want our people to start laying pipes tomorrow. So Zambia police, help us. We don't want our people to be harassed. May you protect people to lay these pipes so that we commission this project. You know, the more this project delays, the more it becomes expensive on the Zambian government, on taxpayers' money.
And Lukanga Water and Sanitation Managing Director Yoram Sinyangwe now gives the project breakdown in figures.
First phase was to dredge or desilt the dam at a cost of 2.4 million kwacha. The next phase was to upgrade or repair the bleached wall. As you are aware, in 2020, the dam collapsed because of flooding. So this one is being done at a cost of about 5.4 million kwacha. Then to mitigate also this, some underground sources are being developed. To start with a cost about 7 bores at a cost of 7.7 million kwacha. Then in due course also an elevated tank of about 250 cubic meters or 250,000 liters is also being constructed at a cost of 5 million kwacha.
Kruger Siankulu, Zanis, Mumbwa.
In health news, a critical shortage of bed space and to accommodate the growing population has hit Luwingu District Hospital. This came to light when Northern Province Minister Leonard Mbao toured the health facility to get first-hand information on the challenges facing the hospital. Details in the following report.
A shortage of bed spaces has hit Luwingu District Hospital in Northern Province. This is forcing patients with different health conditions to be sharing the same wards at the health institution. This came to light when Northern Province Minister Leonard Mbao toured the hospital.
We would like, I think, to look from our Honorable Minister that we have an expansion of the hospital, or probably build a new district hospital to cater for the growing populations, as well as other districts that we are helping out. So if you have seen, our patients are quite mixed in the wards. We are admitting almost everyone in the same ward.
This has been a bedroom for our friends for a very, very long time. Saying this is a center. And on the outside, we have been telling people, no, we have brought development to Northern Province. We have done this. But when you go on the ground, it's a really sorry sight. However, this government is, we understand the level of work, the level of the challenge that is in front of us.
Mr. Mbao took time to check the dispensary and was briefed that the hospital was well stocked with essential drugs. The minister also toured the one-stop center at the Luwingu District Hospital to get first-hand information on sexual gender-based violence cases.
For physical assault cases, there are 393. For forced marriages, there are 20. Those retrieved from marriages, there are 13.
And Natwampane project team leader for Northern Province, Anis Sampa, has called for a multi-sectoral approach to arresting gender-based violence.
That's why we continue with the radio programs. We continue with the sporting activities. Because if we do not work as a team, we're not going to win.
Helen Bwalia for Zanis in Luengo District, Northern Province.
From Luengo, we move to Dundumwezi, where Southern Province Minister Cornelius Mwetwa has commended the Dundumwezi Constituency Development Fund CDF Committee for ensuring that funds are equitably distributed for the benefit of the local communities. Speaking during a CDF sensitization meeting held at Mikata Primary School in Chifujiganta's area, Mr. Mwetwa outlined government's commitment to improving the lives of Zambians. The minister learned that all the 13 CDF projects in Dundumwezi constituency are nearing completion. More in the following report by Mike Munkombwe.
A lot of positives have been recorded under the Increased Constituency Development Fund (CDF), as many projects in various constituencies are either being commissioned or almost complete. In Dundumwezi constituency alone, 13 projects under the 2022 CDF are between 90 to 95% completion.
So initially, or maybe to sum them up, I would say that we have about 13 projects. Out of those 13 projects, we are putting up a 1x3 classroom block, which is at 95%. We have at Bilili, we have a modern maternity wing that is being constructed under CDF at about 80%.
This has cheered Southern Province Minister Cornelius Mwetwa.
We are in a hurry and urgently so to be able to deliver for our people. We are starting to put things in order. Yes, the economy is still in tatters, but progress is beginning to register on the ground.
Away from CDF, the minister also announced plans by government that are aimed at empowering farmers.
This year, fertilizer, there will be no chaos. FISIP will continue the way it was. But alongside that, we want to open a loan scheme window so that dedicated farmers like those of this place, Dundumwezi, and elsewhere, Chipata, Petauke, those who want to grow maize as an economic activity, they should have the financial headroom to be able to do so.
Mike Munkombwe, Zanis in Dundumwezi.
We continue with the news. Government has completed and handed over a 1x3 classroom block at Chiviololo Primary School to the Ministry of Education in Mambwe District in the Eastern Province. The classroom block that had its roof blown off in 2015 has been rehabilitated at a cost of 240,000 kwacha. Eastern Province Minister Peter Piri handed over the infrastructure and reiterated government's commitment to enhance access to education. More in the following report.
As education remains the #1 equalizer to foster development, infrastructure development is key to this realization. As such, the government has rehabilitated and handed over a 1x3 classroom block at Chiviololo Primary School in Mambwe District. The school block, which has been rehabilitated at a cost of 240,000 kwacha, had its roof blown off in 2015.
As a government, we realize that education is fundamental to human development as well as socio-economic development. This classroom block will thus go a long way to increase access to education for our children in the surrounding areas.
Meanwhile, Mambwe District Education Standards Officer Lasford Munga noted that the rehabilitation of the classroom block will provide a conducive learning environment for the learners.
The classroom block was blown off way back in 2015, and since then, the pupils have been learning on an open space. We appreciate that the government funded the project in the tune of 240,000, which has seen this building being rehabilitated to a habitable place where our pupils can have a free learning space.
Chivyololo head teacher Lungisani Piri expressed gratitude to the government.
I'm very grateful for what the government has done for funding this school. We are also facing some challenges as the school. One of the challenges is that we have shortage of teachers' houses.
Theo Makunda for Zanis in Mambo District, Eastern Province.
We now take a break, but still to come, Zambia's gemstones praised. Stay tuned.
The government of Zambia and the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, COMESA, will this June host the 22nd Summit of COMESA Heads of State and Government at the Mulungushi International Conference Center, Lusaka. The summit will take place on Thursday, the 8th of June 2023. The COMESA Summit will be preceded by the 18th meeting of Ministers of Foreign Affairs on Tuesday, 6th June, and the COMESA Business Forum on Wednesday, 7th of June 2023. The theme of the summit is Economic Integration for a Thriving COMESA, anchored on green investment, value addition, and tourism. Delegates from the 21 COMESA member states and beyond are expected to attend the COMESA Summit in Lusaka. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Information and Media and COMESA. For news and current affairs, entertainment, sports, children's programs, and a host of other events in and beyond our borders, Zanis TV has you covered. On Channel 6 and Channel 458 on Topstar.
Welcome back. You are still watching the news. The Gemological Institute of America has described Zambia's gemstones as some of the finest minerals on the planet, which have been appreciated globally. GIA Library Director Robert Weldon said this during a 3-day training workshop of small-scale miners on enhancing of mineral value addition held in Lufwanyama district on the Copperbelt province. Mr. Weldon noted that it is for this reason that GIA has picked Zambia to be among the 5 African countries to benefit from its program to realize the full value of its rich minerals. Details in the following report.
The value of any piece of gemstone can never be fully appreciated without getting a finished product out of it. But this has been far-fetched, especially among small-scale miners, mainly due to limited knowledge. It is on this backdrop that a team of experts from the Gemological Institute of America, GIA, has visited Zambia's largest emerald-producing district, Lufwanyama, to help several artisanal miners with skills of enhancing mineral value addition.
The objective of our program is to bring a small amount of education to artisanal miners, mostly women miners, to help them get a leg up on the understanding of value in some of the materials that they mine. Because in many cases, people don't understand what the market may be as you go down the supply chain, the value of the beautiful materials that are mined in Zambia.
And government is urging participants to ensure the acquired knowledge is translated into action.
Whether you produce quartz, produce emerald, this training by GIA, all the way from Kenya, America, and Brazil, purely to help you, capacity build you, the producers of these stones, which for a long time has been sold as a raw material.
The benefits of this training is enormous.
We put oil to our emerald, but from today onwards, we've been told that there are certain places where you cannot sell because of the oil that you've added to that.
The Geology International of America have backed us with the knowledge of it. Even if those crystal stones, as big as it is, as rough as it is, it might be valuable more than even a cut stone.
Zambia has become one of the few African countries to benefit from the Gemological Institute of America training program this year. Reporting, I'm Agrippa Silumbwe.
In a related development, the Luapula Small-Scale Miners Association has appealed to the Zambia Revenue Authority to consider a fair tax band for artisanal and small-scale miners in the province. Association Secretary Joseph Msonda says the failure by artisanal and small-scale miners to remit taxes was as required by law is due to the already high fees their members are made to pay. Kennedy Chomba has more in this report.
The Zambia Revenue Authority has held a meeting with artisanal and small-scale miners in Wapla province. The meeting is aimed at looking at tax compliance levels among artisanal and small-scale miners. ZRA Director Informal Sector and Medium Taxpayer, Leonard Chalwe, who opened the meeting, indicated that the authority is focusing on ensuring that there is tax compliance among taxpayers in the mining sector.
As ZRA, we are encouraging voluntary compliance. We want to do less of enforcement, but encourage voluntary compliance. That's why you have seen there is even the tax amnesty, which has now been extended by the minister to 30th June, the end of this month.
The Rwapla Small Scale Miners Association, a number of issues make most of their members not to comply in paying tax.
Why we are failing to pay? We are paying a lot of levies, fees. Let me just itemize one by one. When you bring manganese in town, you need to pay to the council 18 kwacha.
And the manganese expert, Dr. Sixtus Mlinga, who joined the meeting virtually, called for a specific tax on manganese.
So what one is required to do is to study the business of manganese and see what sort of tax would be able to enable the sector to grow. Because if we use a template of copper, we may kill the manganese sector.
Kenneth Chomba, reporting for Zanis News in Mansa District.
In other news, government has raised concern over the low participation of investors in Luena farming block. Mwangala Kapandula was in the area and brought us this report.
Government has raised concern with the low participation of agricultural activities in Luena farming block in Kawambwa district in Wapla province. This is despite the good climatic condition for agricultural activities to take place.
You would check around what activities are there. You'd find that I would rate it at 30%. And the question that we ask ourselves, what is the problem? Why are we not at 90% with the utilization of the land? Road network, of course. Electricity. But first again, I would like to thank the government, the commitment that they have shown in making sure that Luena Farm Block is now connected to the national grid. And I'm very much aware that ZESCO has been on the ground, and also they're also looking at how best they can do the roads. But again, we should not, these are some of the projects that they would do now. What of in the long run?
Kawambwa Sugar Limited is one of the investors in the farming block and is appealing to government to ensure that a good road network is in place for development to take place.
This river and its floodplain is the challenge, really. The temporary solution is to create a pontoon here, which will carry approximately 12 metric tons. Now that will be useful to start with because it means you'll be able to bring over a small vehicle, and also it will connect with the local communities as well. So it will mean that we're much closer getting to Kawambwa than we are going from the southern end of the property through Chibote.
For Zanis News, Mwangala Kapandula reporting in Kawambwa district, Wapla province.
Still ahead in the news, young people aged to acquire vocational skills. We take a break.
The government of Zambia and the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, COMESA, will this June host the 22nd Summit of COMESA Heads of State and Government at the Mulungushi International Conference Center, Lusaka. The summit will take place on Thursday, the 8th of June 2023. The COMESA Summit will be preceded by the 18th meeting of Ministers of Foreign Affairs on Tuesday, 6th June, and the COMESA Business Forum on Wednesday, 7th of June 2023. The theme of the summit is Economic Integration for a Thriving COMESA, anchored on green investment, value addition, and tourism. Delegates from the 21 COMESA member states and beyond are expected to attend the COMESA Summit in Lusaka. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Information and Media and COMESA.
Life is a journey full of varied experiences. Can we reach our desired destiny? Can we achieve our desired goals? If yes, then how? Join Juliet Mutale on Thursday at 18:30 hours on How I Made It, a program that highlights various success stories from different personalities with different life experiences and backgrounds. Catch Zanis TV on Channel 6 DTT and Channel 458 DTH. Zanis TV, the People's Channel.
For news and current affairs, entertainment, sports, children's programs, and a host of other events in and beyond our borders, Zanis TV has you covered. On Channel 6 and Channel 458 on Topstar.
And now the rest of the news. Build It International Zambia, an impact change non-governmental organization, has urged young people to acquire vocational skills in order to earn a living. Speaking during the flag-off of the fundraising bike ride from Lusaka to Livingstone, Build It International Zambia Country Director Chilufya Kasutu says the organization has a free sponsorship scheme for vulnerable youths in various vocational skills. Here's a report.
Zambia has in the recent past placed emphasis on skills development to help young people generate income and be able to survive in the informal sector. Skills development has the potential to contribute to economic growth as it enhances employability and increases productivity. This is why Build It International Zambia has flagged off a fundraising bike ride from Lusaka to Livingstone, aimed at raising funds to enhance the provision of free skills training for the vulnerable young people in Chibombo district of Central Province. Andrew Jowett is Chief Executive Officer for Build It International Zambia.
Is to raise $30,000 and that will be enough to put a cohort of 25 trainees through a 6-month training program in multi-skills construction or carpentry and steel fixing. So that program consists of life skills, getting ready for work, the trade skill here at our amazing trading centre. They learn to lay bricks, work concrete, and then they go out and work in industry on a work placement. And after that, they're ready to fly.
Country Manager Chilufya Kasutu has encouraged young people to acquire vocational skills for self-sustainability.
We offer a sponsorship, a scholarship scheme for very young people from very poor, marginalized households. We do have a system of criteria in which we are able to choose because we really want to target those kids that are really coming from disadvantaged backgrounds so that we can give them a skill that allows them to earn an income and be able to support their families into the future. So I would just like to say that, you know, there is an opportunity, whether you've been to school, whether you went to school halfway. We are one of those centers that actually offer an entry-level scholarship that allows you to have an entry-level certificate under TVETA. So if you are in the Chibombo area, if you are in Chisamba area and you would like to find out what we do, you know, come over to the Center for Excellence and we will have we will talk to you about what is available and what we can do together.
Some of the beneficiaries of the free skills training program expressed their gratitude for the opportunity.
So blessed to be here because the opportunity sibwira ku bonse. But I thank God for this opportunity because izanitandizira maningi. Sinisebenza, nina bana menisunga ku nyumba, and then babeve nichita, but through thing course ya meni chita izanitandizila maningi kunkana skill ya meni linayo.
I'm very excited and I feel recognizable to the society through this course that I'm doing, because I was doing nothing back then, but at least after the end of this course I'll be able to do my own thing. Maybe I can do my own business and some other stuffs.
Miles Kabingo for Zanis in Chivombo District, Central Province.
And finally, a school pupil from Senga Hill district has encouraged sports administrators in Zambia to take advantage of the reintroduction of ball games in schools to tap talent among pupils. Brian Sikandeke, who is the head boy at Mpande Day Secondary School, observed that pupils in rural areas are highly talented but lack exposure for them to perform at the highest level. Namsokwe Wembia reports that Sikandeke said this in an interview during the Interzones competition for schools in the district held at Mpande Secondary School.
The revamping of extracurricular activities in schools has been received with praises. Mpande Day Secondary School head boy Brian Skandeke wants sports administrators at national level to use ball games to tap talent in rural schools.
I'm also appealing to the government that they should tap talent from the rural areas. So this is showing that it's not only in the urban areas where people are talented and skilled, but government can also tap this same talent from the rural areas.
And Senga Hill District Commissioner Justus Sikazwe has this to say.
It's a source of income for some of our pupils in future. It can be a source of income. And the government has done a commendable job for financing all the government schools, and by doing that, most of the schools are able to procure sports attires and whatever they can use concerning sports.
We are going to have a cadre of youth who are going to be fit and who are also going to showcase their talent. Sports is very important, because if someone is not good in class and can perform well in sports, someone can excel in sports and become independent and live independent life.
Meanwhile, Senga Hill District Sports Coordinator Kefas Lupia wants the district team to be picked on merit.
We are basically here to pick children on merit, because we have seen if we pick pupils on favoritism, it has not helped us as a district and as a province. So we are here and have cautioned the sports teachers to be disciplined, because if they are not disciplined and pupils are not disciplined, then we are not going to have a good team.
13 zones from Senga Hill District participated in the event, which took place at Mpande Day Secondary School. Reporting for Zanis, Namsokwe Wembia.
That item by Namsokwe Wembia brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, another look at the top stories in our news. The government has processed over 300,000 title deeds. 20 million kwacha has been released to improve water reticulation system in Mumbwa district. Zambia's gemstones have been praised as being one of the best in the world. Plus, young people have been urged to acquire vocational skills. Thank you so much for watching. That is all we had packaged for you on the main news. On behalf of the entire news production crew, my name is Henry Himonde. Goodbye.